The arrest of Vem Miller near the Trump rally in Coachella has sparked a storm of controversy and confusion. Miller, a longtime pro-Trump activist, was detained at a checkpoint where authorities claimed he had fake media credentials and illegal firearms. This incident, which some initially framed as a third assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump, has taken new turns as Mindy Robinson, Miller's friend and business partner, speaks out to defend him. Robinson, who describes herself as an independent journalist, hidden history buff, anti-government libertarian, and host of Conspiracy Truths on America Happens, is adamant that Miller had no intention of harming Trump, calling the situation a possible setup or law enforcement overreach. So what's the real story here? Is Miller just a passionate MAGA activist caught in a legal tangle? Or is there more to this situation? In this video, we're going to dig deep into Robinson's defense, the incident itself, and the broader context of Miller's work, including his involvement with America Happens and the Bundy Ranch standoff documentary. We'll also address the lingering questions. Why would a pro-Trump activist have fake passes? What really happened at that checkpoint? And could Miller still be playing some undercover role, as some might suspect? Let's begin by taking a look at Mindy Robinson's detailed defense of Vem Miller. According to Robinson, Miller is a staunch Trump supporter with absolutely no intent to harm the former president. She described his arrest as ridiculous, accusing the authorities of failing to understand that Miller is one of us. Robinson shared that she and Miller have attended numerous Trump events together and have even been invited as media. So why the fake credentials? That's where Robinson pushes back. In her view, there's no reason for Miller to use fake passes, as they are regularly invited to cover Trump events as part of their work with America Happens. Here's what Mindy Robinson said in her post shared on X, formerly Twitter.
The man they just arrested for supposedly trying to kill Trump in Coachella is my good friend and business partner for America Happens, Vem Miller. Vem had just exposed a huge deep state cover-up involving the feds and the Bundy Ranch scandal, so I firmly believe this is 100% some kind of setup in retribution for exposing it. That, or Trump's security team, is a bunch of dipshits trying to make up for how badly they failed in Pennsylvania with any kind of win they can get, fake or not. There isn't a universe where his intention was to kill Trump. He's worked too hard in this movement to expose the deep state and all the people against him. If he had guns in his car that were illegal, whoop-de-fucking-do! As a pro-Second Amendment advocate, ask me if I give a shit about a good guy with a gun in an unsafe shithole like California. It doesn't even make sense why his passes would be fake, either when we're both usually invited as media to these things. And I'd love to see exactly what this threat was he made about Trump, because I don't believe he said it. I just know it's going to be the most misconstrued bullshit thing ever when I finally hear it, assuming they even ever tell us. This is the anti-deep state documentary we did that they're probably targeting him for, where we actually suspected they killed our whistleblower over it. It's that damning to this illegitimate government. Link to Bundy versus Deep State documentary on Rumble. We were also working on a sequel to my Las Vegas shooting cover-up doc as well, which might be another reason why someone would target him for this. Link to Las Vegas shooting documentary on Rumble. Either way, I stand by Vem Miller, and I will get to the bottom of this bullshit. Watch me.
Now that we've heard from Mindy Robinson, we need to tackle the first big question. Why would Vem Miller be carrying fake media passes? This is one of the strangest elements of the arrest. According to Robinson, Miller and she have been attending pro-Trump events for years and are regularly invited as media. So why fake anything? If they're typically allowed into these events, why take the risk of using counterfeit credentials? It doesn't add up. Then there's the issue of the license plate. Miller reportedly had what authorities described as a fake license plate on his car. Again, why? If you're regularly covering high-profile events and you're supposed to be part of an independent media group like America Happens, why would you roll up with a suspicious license plate? This whole situation feels off. And to be honest, something just doesn't feel right. If you're part of these movements, you're supposed to be sophisticated, right? These aren't amateurs. They've been doing this for years. So what's really going on here? Now let's address the elephant in the room. Just because Vem Miller has been a pro-Trump activist for years doesn't mean we can completely dismiss the possibility that he might be working undercover for the feds. I'm not saying that he is, but when things don't add up like this, it's worth considering every angle. Robinson makes it clear that she trusts Miller and believes he's been fighting the same anti-deep state battles alongside her. But we have to acknowledge that strange things happen. Federal agencies have been known to embed people in movements, especially those that challenge government power. Is that what's happening here? Let's be clear. I don't believe this is likely. Miller really seems like a true pro-Trump activist, but this situation definitely raises questions. Let's dive into the Bundy Ranch connection for a moment, because that plays a big part in why Robinson is so adamant that Miller's being targeted. The Bundy Ranch standoff was a huge deal in the world of anti-government protests. It was all about a rancher, Cliven Bundy, standing up to federal authorities over land use and cattle grazing. Miller and Robinson worked on a documentary exposing what they call a deep state cover-up involving that incident, and it's one of the key reasons Robinson believes Miller is being framed now. She even mentioned that a whistleblower connected to the case was killed, implying that they're dealing with some heavy stuff. Beyond that, they've also been working on a sequel to Robinson's documentary about the Las Vegas shooting, which she claims was a cover-up with multiple shooters involved. This all ties into their broader mission to expose government corruption through America Happens. Now, to be fair, Robinson is clear about where she stands on California's gun laws. She straight up says that every gun is illegal in California and brushes off the fact that Miller had firearms in his car. In her view, that's just part of the territory in a state with such strict gun control measures. But that doesn't change the fact that Miller's possession of those guns is part of the legal issues he's facing. So where does that leave us? In conclusion, this whole situation around Vem Miller's arrest near the Trump Coachella rally raises more questions than answers. Mindy Robinson has made it clear that she believes this is a setup, and the fact that the FBI isn't treating it as an assassination attempt adds weight to her claims. There are still strange elements, like the fake passes, the license plate, and how all of this fits into the larger narrative of Miller and Robinson's anti-government documentaries. What do you think? Is Miller being framed, or is there something else going on here? Let me know in the comments, and stay tuned for more updates as we continue to dig into this case.
Middle MAGA.